Hi guys, it's Aliana here. Today I'm going to be reading chapter 1 of Are We Lost? It is book 1 of the Lost series. I do have a stutter, so bear with me today, as well as I do have a speech issue, so sometimes I mess up words, so bear with me. As well as I'm bad at accents, but I'll do my best. Most of my books are rated mature or teen due to the horror and adult content and language. There is a lot of cursing. There is some parts read by AI due to my lack of being able to speak certain languages. I'm sorry. It's for the character. Bear with me. Anyways, let's get on to reading. Enjoy. Here's a major warning. There is major cursing and mild racism. Reader discretion is advised.
Chapter 1 The Drive. "Come on, Megan, we're going to be late," a young girl yelled at her older sister. They were going on a camping trip with 6 of their friends. Both girls were excited to get to spend 2 weeks with their friends in the middle of the forest, away from the big city and the noisy traffic. Instead, they would be in a quiet cabin on the outer edge of the city, the nearest town being an hour away. It was going to be fun. The younger girl rushed her big sister out the door as she excitedly ran to the truck. "Come on, Megan, they're waiting on us," she yelled. "I'm coming, Rissa. Slow your roll," Megan told her younger sister, Marissa. "I'm sorry, I'm just excited. I've never done this before," Marissa said. Megan giggled and loaded their stuff into the truck, while Marissa ran to get in the front seat of the truck. Megan walked over to the driver's seat, holding her key, when her phone vibrated in her pocket. She sighed and pulled out her phone, reading the text from her best friend, Andrea. "Where are you? You were supposed to be here almost an hour ago," the text read. She sighed and sent a small "on my way" before starting her truck and heading to her friend's house, blasting the radio as she drove her and her sister to go pick up her friends. "Are there bears where we're going to be camping, sis?" Marissa asked softly. "Supposedly, yes, but that's what the bear spray is for, Rissa," Megan said, comforting her sister. Marissa nodded as they pulled into Andrea's driveway, waiting for their friend to put her and her brother Jake's stuff in the truck before they both got in. "So who's ready to party?" Jake said loudly. The girls just giggled and pulled out of the driveway. After a while, the 4 kids met up with their other 4 friends at a nearby gas station. As they got out of the truck, they saw their other 2 friends, Leo and Christine, kissing as they leaned against his truck. Megan cleared her throat, making Christine roll her eyes and giggle as they all went inside. "Chrissy, do your thing?" Jake asked. "Okay," Christine smiled happily. Christine walked over to the beer aisle and grabbed a few cases, before going to the cashier and setting them on the counter. The boy behind the counter looked at her and raised his brow before asking for her ID. "ID, please?" He was clearly bored. Christine smiled and handed him her ID while leaning on the counter, exposing her cleavage. The boy kept taking small glances towards her cleavage as he swiped her ID. "Date of birth?" he asked, slightly distracted by her chest. "May 6th, 2000, Christine said seductively. He nodded and punched in the number. He scanned the beer cases and read her the total. "That's $31.21, he spoke. Christine handed him the cash and smiled. "Keep the change." She then took the cases and carried them out to the trucks. All the others grabbed a few drinks and snacks for the road and checked out. After paying, they all went outside laughing. "Oh my god, did you see the way he was drooling?" Jake asked. "Fuck the way he was looking. We got everything almost $20 cheaper because he was so distracted," Leo said, laughing. Everyone joined in on the laughter as they got in the trucks and started the drive to the campgrounds. As they were driving, Marissa stared out the window, bored. Megan seemed to notice and turned on the radio. Marissa's favorite song was playing. Everyone began to sing and jam out to the song. The truck began to be filled with joy and laughter as the teenagers joked and sang to the music, blasting the songs as they drove down the city streets towards city limits. Everyone was having fun, while Megan was following behind Leo's truck. They started to drive into the forest. The trees were thick, so thick they had to turn on their headlights to see the path ahead. Marissa found it scary. She turned the radio down and looked out the window. The young girl slowly began to feel as if she was being watched. Suddenly, chills ran down her spine as she saw what appeared to be 2 glowing amber eyes in the trees. Now much more alert, Marissa adjusted her seeing position and kept her eyes on the trees. "You okay, Marissa?" Megan asked as she noticed her sister's change. Marissa nodded and kept her eyes on the trees. The amber eye is now gone. Marissa was now sure that something was watching them. No, following them. She stayed quiet, not wanting her friends and sister to think she was a baby. Everything was going well until Leo suddenly stopped, causing Megan to slam on the brakes. What the fuck? Megan yelled, confused. Leo got out of his vehicle using his phone as a flashlight and walked over the edge of the forest. Megan rolled her eyes. If he was drunk, she was going to kill him. Getting out of her truck, she walked over to the driver's seat of Leo's truck. She looked inside the window to see Christine's face filled with shock and her eyes with terror. Megan, suddenly confused, turned her gaze to where Leo was standing along the tree line. Barely in the glow of the headlights, he crouched down next to a corpse. Megan, intrigued, walked over to Leo, only to find him crouched over the mutilated corpse of a small child. Megan screamed and fell back. What the fuck is that? She screamed. Leo looked up at her and put a hand over her mouth. Something strange was going on, and he did not like it. Megan threw Leo's hand off her mouth and ran back to her truck. Andrea sat in the back, not making a sound. Jake fell silent and directed his gaze toward where Leo was standing. Eliana again. I hope you guys seriously enjoyed this chapter today, but that was chapter 1. Tomorrow we'll be reading chapter 2. Please leave a comment if you liked it. That's all. Bye.